Good morning, this is Steve Wiideman from Wiideman Consulting Group here with Hansel and Larry, and today we're going to talk link building, and we're trying a, what is this, a Stumptown organic cold brew coffee from Ark Coffee in La Mirada. Right on.
Cappuccino, Java Jive, Mocha Latte, Java Jive. I love coffee, I love tea.
So let's give this a shot and welcome to the morning.
Cheers. Cheers.
Looks like beer.
It does.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I thought Ark was just espressos.
No, they have their cold brews in the fridge and do the whole
It's the
thing.
one over by CVS, right?
Right.
You walk in there, it doesn't even look like there's coffee. It just looks like an espresso machine.
Right.
This is really good.
Yeah, I've actually had a few cold brews like this, and this is actually very good.
Smooth. It doesn't have that aftertaste kick that Starbucks does.
Right.
I love
Yeah.
Starbucks cold brew more than their regular coffee. It's really good.
That's cold.
Fill the bottle.
Yeah.
And well, it's cold brew.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's hot enough.
So, awesome. Well, every week we try to talk about something different. We want your requests, we want your questions, we want your ideas. We love those. One of the things we get asked a lot is, around link building. There's three primary ranking factors in search. It's your content and how relevant your content is to what the user searched. It's links to your website that Google and other web crawlers will crawl through to qualify and score your website. And then it's user behavior signals about what users actually do in the search results, whether they choose your listing or not, and whether they stay on your website or go back and choose an alternative listing. So on the content side, if your content's better than what the competition has, you're gonna crush it. That means better visually, better speed-wise, performance-wise. Most users are on mobile now, so if you look at your site and you look at a competitor's or run a study and ask people, what do you like better, this one or the number one page, you'll get some really good ideas of ways that you can improve that landing page. But once you've gotten beyond that, now it's really around how other search engines are looking at your site and scoring it. And I think that's where Google PageRank comes into play, right? Larry Page created this algorithm back in the day that used external signals to determine how authoritative and how important your originally website, your web pages are to what the user searched for. And so PageRank isn't where you rank on the page, it's really just Larry Page's name for the algorithm of determining relevancy. There used to be a cool little toolbar that you could use in Chrome or whatever browser, and it would actually show you the PageRank. Google retired it a couple years ago because SEOs were obsessing over it. Like, I'll sell you a link on my website for $300. I have a page rank of 7.
Oh, wow.
Right? And it's not right, because colleges, would have much higher page rank at the root of their site, and the domain authority of that site would pass down to subpages, giving that subpage a high page rank. But the reality is, if there were no other external pages linking to that, edu landing page,
Right.
there wasn't any value to it. Yeah. So people would find ways to hack forums on EDUs and other sites and then sell those links. So they got rid of the toolbar because people were spending way too much attention to it. So then the question comes, well, how do you get links to your website in a way that isn't going to get you penalized by Google? Let's see if Hansel knows what the algorithm update was that penalized sites that were doing suspicious link building. There's a few of them.
I would say
Hansel's new to the industry, so give him a break.
not Penguin.
Yeah,
Penguin?
nailed it.
Cool.
Nice.
Sweet.
Way to go.
So April 23rd of 2012, right, it's right around my daughter's birthday, Google released this Penguin update, and Penguin basically went through and it said, if you are putting explicit words into links with the intent of trying to gain search results, that you're going to get a penalty. And then a couple years later, they actually put it into Google Search Console as a manual action. So now you'd actually go into your Search Console and it would say, this page or other pages on your website have been penalized, not affecting your whole website, but just this page may be negatively affected. So now the world went on this huge cleanup. I think one of our clients spent $18,000 cleaning up toxic links that he'd purchased through, all sorts of third-party providers, despite our advice, hey, let's create content, do outreach, and get those people to curate and share and mention our content.
Yeah.
Instead, he went out to like Linkworth and what was the other one? Text Link Broker and three-way links and Link Wheels and Fiverr and anywhere you could go to buy links. There was a site called Ardor Backlinks, something like that, where you can actually go and buy edu and gov links that were, again, hacked forums and comment threads and other, BS that really isn't going to drive any referral traffic. It was just there for the sake of trying to help rank a site.
Yeah.
By the way, this is why you might see a lot of Viagra links in comments and Cialis. Like, what the hell? There's no value here. Why are you linking with Cialis and Viagra? It's because they wanted that anchor text in that comment to point to their site or their brand to correlate to that keyword so that they could rank, because those sites make a crap ton of money apparently.
Yeah.
Everybody wants Cialis and Viagra, and I'm currently in the wrong industry. So how do you do it? How do you not get penalized? And there's a million strategies. We won't call them techniques, because in link building we don't want to do anything that's technique driven. We want to organically improve our visibility. So I think at its core, content is going to be the key. We have a client right now who's in the law industry. He's doing a blood drive. He's doing a CPR event. He's doing some things to try to help the community, and then doing some outreach to local businesses and news, and letting them know, hey, we're doing something really cool, and we hope that it helps the community. And here's the page that talks about it. It's not the page that we want to rank, because nobody really links to sales pages, right? But Google's PageRank will pass through the value from the landing page that it hits to the pages that it's linking to. So the top navigation and internal links on the page itself will pass PageRank through and help those sales pages move up. So I think content is really key. Other ways that we're suggesting to our clients are Unlinked Mentions. I think we had one of those recently where it mentions a client's name and does not link, but instead of reaching out by email and asking him for a link, we say usually what?
Well, there's a couple of different ways to do it, but hey, here's a little bit more information about the person that you're speaking about. Gives you a little bit more context about what they do, who they are, things like that. Right. So I've had a couple of really good successes recently with that strategy, with that tactic.
And instead of saying, hey, we noticed you mentioned us but weren't linking to us, instead you say, basically, I noticed that when I try to click on client A, right? When I try to click on client A's name, it doesn't go anywhere. Maybe you can make the clickable so your users know where, or make the name clickable so that users know where to go to find more information about this person or this brand.
Yeah.
That way you're not using the word link in an email, because so many people are inundated every day with, will you link to me, or here's an infographic, please share it on your website and link back to us.
Yeah.
And there's so much of that garbage now that it's saturated. It's totally 2011, right?
Yep.
And we don't do 2011 tactics in 2017, 2018. We focus on trying to build organic presence. So Unlinked Mentions is a great way. The other way, it's still around, it still works, is broken links. If you find those broken links pointing to your website, getting those other websites to correct those links will continue to pass the page rank that you were getting, or you weren't when you had that 404 page. Or if you find broken links to a competitor's website where they have similar content that what you have, you can reach out and say, hey, we noticed that you used to link to this other page that no longer exists. We've got a page that we've worked on that's up to date and has some really good content on it, and maybe even mentions them, right? And then gets them to to basically update their link to point to you instead of the competition. So Unlinked Mentions and the broken link strategy tend to work really well. So those are some techniques. Other things that we do really revolve around community. It's around building relationships with brands in similar verticals. So if you're a lawyer and you work a lot with chiropractors and with auto shops and those sort of things, and you have those relationships already, why not leverage them and figure out a way to promote each other, better help each other in ways that ultimately ends up in links.
Question.
Shoot.
What tools do you recommend in regards to link building?
There's a million tools.
Yeah.
The more popular ones are ahrefs.com, which we use all the time for links. The There's Majestic SEO. There is Open Site Explorer, which is part of the Moz suite. There are smaller tools, less known tools that actually are pretty robust, but they're small in the sense that you rarely hear about them. Ontolo being one of them. It's Ontolo. There's a program called Inkebee, Inkbee. That's really cool to play with. And then how do we track and manage all this stuff? The two big CRMs for managing your links are Buzzstream and Pitchbox. Pitchbox is a little bit more refined and structured and limited in what you can do. It's not as much of a CRM as it is more of a link tracking suite. There's also, Ninja Outreach.
Yes.
Right, so we got introduced to them recently as well. Still a little bit more structured, where Buzzstream, which is what our favorite is, gives us the flexibility to do whatever we want. So we can create whatever type of projects, and we can create any type of custom fields. So we can say approach types, and when we're thinking about qualifying whether or not this is going to be a good link or not, we can set the approach type to what our 4 types are, which we'll talk about in a minute. The other thing we do for link building is figure out where competition are getting links.
Yes.
So if you do it as more of an industry study than just kind of looking at the top competitors, if you take an industry approach and you take the 100 most prominent businesses in a particular area, and then you find out using like a what we call a link intersect report, you figure out where all those 100 sites get their links from. You run a pivot table to see which of those domains come up the most frequently. You delete the bit.lys and the social sites and whatever, and you focus specifically on industry. You start categorizing them. Like all of these in real estate are industry. All of these are directories. All of these are, right? You start categorizing those, and those ultimately become the link type in your CRM. I like the industry sites because you get referral traffic out of it, and you might even do some advertising with them. Speaking of advertising, great place to find links as well is in your link report or in your display report in AdWords. If you run a detail report in your AdWords, you can actually see the specific pages that are generating conversions for you in AdWords. And then go back to those sites, do some native advertising, build a relationship with those sites that eventually evolves into getting a natural link. So it's a really good way to do it. So our 4 approach types, when we look at Buzzstream, we start going through one by one. First one is getting them to reference something on our website. Hey, we did something really cool we think your readers will appreciate. Take a look at it, and maybe if you find it's useful, add it as external reading or external references, or heck, if you want, just curate the list. So maybe if we curate the list, we can get that cool little featured quick answer box at the top of Google, because a lot of people are sharing that list. Share the list and reference our site, or heck, just share the list. Reference, number 1 way to build authority and to earn links. 2, cross promotion. Again, working with similar businesses in the same or similar vertical. Next one is contribution, just giving something. We have one of our team members sends an email, and instead of sending a Word doc attachment or a link, he just pastes the whole context of a guest post or article that might benefit the website right in the email. And he says, look, if you don't want to use it, let me know within the next week or so, and and then that way I don't know to give it to somebody else, right? Yeah. So contribution is a great way, just helping somebody. You have to give sometimes to get, right? Yes. And then the last one, sponsorship, which comes with a disclaimer, because if you're sponsoring something, you're technically paying for it, and buying links is, crosses the line from white hat into gray or black hat. Mm-hmm. So if you're sponsoring an industry event or anything like that, and the page that you're mentioned on, it looks like an advertisement, you definitely should put that rel equals no follow. But even when you're sponsoring, sometimes they'll ask, hey, would you like to contribute to a post to talk about what your session's going to be or something like that. That could be a good organic link. So sponsoring something related to the industry or something related to your area is a great way to, if you've exhausted reference, cross-promotion, contribution, is sort of the last straw, is to figure out a way to kind of buy our way into the relationship that ultimately results in a natural link. So that gives you some context for link building. There's a million other ways that you can learn. Some of my favorite sites to learn link building include Citation Labs. Subscribe to Eric Ward's newsletter. Just do a search for link building expert. He's always number 1. Call him Link Moses. This guy's amazing. It's $8 a month. Come on, $8 a month. He has some really good ideas on places that you can grow your visibility, which helps your off-page SEO. And you can follow our blog at Wiideman.com. We're going to be talking a lot this year about creative ways to attract links. Any other ideas? Anything you want to talk about with link building? It's been rattling off and off forever.
Yeah, just be careful. I mean, because there are a lot of companies out there that are trying to really buck the system, and it could actually cost you a lot more than you spend on that company.
Reminds me, you do a monthly audit to see if there's negative links that are coming in from competitors. Some industries, not so much on e-commerce, but in lead generation, attorneys, cosmetic surgeons are really competitive. Locksmiths. So instead of spending $600 a month on someone's time to try to build your brand and your off-page visibility, they'll spend that $600 on Fiverr and on text link broker and whatever to try to get explicit links to your site so that you get penalized, that making them move up while you move down. And it's really ugly. So pay attention to it once a month. Run a link detox review from Ahrefs or Moz or wherever you want to do it, and then where you see those links that you didn't create, add them to a disavow list that you submit through Google Search Console. Let Google know I didn't do these. Please don't count them against me.
Absolutely.
It only takes a few minutes a month to do it. You don't get that many links usually. And I think that about wraps it up for our coffee time here today. So it's Search and Sip with Larry and Hansel and Steve, and we'll see you next week, and hopefully you'll have some questions for us.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Party on.